while ago, I made a few videos about customer service. They still exist. They're somewhere buried on YouTube. My views have not changed in any shape, way or form. There are certain things you must be with customers. Open, honest, direct. Sometimes you have to say no to the customer because what they're asking you to do, either you can't do, you shouldn't do, or it's downright illegal to do. You always have to have a backup plan. If you know you're going to have to say no, the answer is, I'm sorry, sir, madam, I can't do that. What we can do is this, that. Always have something to say to them. I've faced customers for a very, very long time. And you have to say this. You have to be direct with them. There's no point going around the bush. There's absolutely no point making them promises you know you can't keep or that someone else can't keep. That's pointless. Stupid. Customer service, customer relations, whatever you like to call it these days. You need to be honest with the customer. Look them in the face and say, right, this is what the story is. Or if you're on the phone, say, right, this is the story, this is the situation, this is where we are, this is what we're going to do. Anything different to that, and you're doing yourself in. You're harming yourself, you're harming the customer, you're harming the company you work for. If you make a wild suggestion or wild agreement, then all you're doing is harming your colleagues who are going to be stuffed with it. Going to say, we can't do this, it's not possible. Why has this person said we can do it? Had too many of those. Never goes well. Customers need to be handled properly. Treat them as you would expect to be treated. That's how I work it, always. Customers who believe that they are entitled to absolutely anything and everything are few and far between, but they occur. And they don't particularly like it when you have to be the one to prick their balloon. However, if you don't have the courage to do that, you shouldn't be there in the first place. You really must face a customer properly. Deal with them professionally. Deal with them in a way that you would want to be dealt with. It's really simple, really straightforward. That's how I've always done it. Always will do it. It's something that you have to learn. I see far, far too many newer people struggling and really making a fool of themselves, making a fool of the company they work for, and embarrassing themselves and the customer. You got to be prepared to say no. You got to be prepared to stand up to the customer and say, that can't be done, sir. This can't be done, madam. We have to do this, that, or the other. Just being a yes person all the time, sorry, doesn't work. It never will, it never can. Companies can't work that way. Anywho, anyway, anyhow. Here is the facts. Always treat the customer with respect. Treat them honestly. Be truthful. Be direct. Listen to what they have to say and react accordingly. But always, 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 always have your homework done. Know what you can do, know what you can't do. Sometimes you'll be able to come up with answers on as you do it. It does happen. But a high percentage of the time, the answers will already be known. And you'll know exactly what to do. You need to do what you're supposed to do. Rewriting the rules on the spot just because the customer's in front of you or on the phone, sorry folks, bad plan. Customer relations, customer service, whatever, as I say. Deal with them honestly, professionally, politely. And make sure that at the end of all things, you come to some kind of agreement. 99.99% of the time you will. Occasionally you won't, and you have to accept that. And one last thing that I have a rule, certainly on the telephone. Customer starts losing it and starts using language that's not acceptable, you give a warning. You say, sir, madam, that language is not required. They persist. You have that right to say, I'm sorry, sir, madam, I'm not continuing this call. You are now being verbally abusive and it is not acceptable. You have the right. Exercise it. Don't be a punch bag. You are allowed to end the call if that customer is misbehaving in a way that is unacceptable. Any company that fails to accept that fact is not a company you should be working for. As I say, customers can be fun. You never quite know who they are. You never know what they're doing. Have a good listen. Make sure you know what you're doing. And enjoy. You are the person with the power to help them. You are the one who can help. You always will be. React like it. Here endeth the lesson.